The city is currently facing a water shortage across the whole city. The challenge starting from the 11th of January, when we had a leak on the Mzingwane pipeline, and we also had pumping failure at Inyankuni. While our teams were looking at that, they came the stairway that closed business for almost a week. On resumption of business, efforts were done to actually repair the leak on the Mzingwane pipeline, which is the pipeline that feeds Ncema from Mzingwane. Upon completion of the repairs on the leaks, the city then experienced a power surge within the same area and lost control panels for 2 pumps, leaving Mzingwane with only 1 pump feeding the raw water into Ncema treatment works. Obviously, this resulted in low volumes of raw water being transported into the city, while on average we're pushing it around 108 megaliters per day. Consumption remained at almost 147 on average over the period, and hence the depletion of the raw water reservoir that you see here. What has happened since then is that the city introduced a water rationing program which came into effect on Wednesday. The water shedding program calls for all parties to come to play. In other words, those that have got water on the given timetable should use it sparingly and reduce consumption. But what has happened is that while we were rationing water, we were still consuming on average 135 megaliters per day, while we were pumping in 108, because what we're pumping in cannot grow until the replacement of the pumps is done. So what we're asking for from the residents is that when you have water, please conserve, so that when we open for other areas, our reservoirs are still able to transport water to those areas that we're opening. We opened the first areas today, but we still have challenges for areas like Mkanini, Nketa 9, and Pumula, mainly because our clear water reservoir at Criterion had been depleted. So opening those areas before picking up the levels at Criterion would have actually brought down the whole system. But however, they've been opened late during the day, and we are hoping that over the night they should be restored. Going forward, if you're not on our schedule, we had only provided for rationing just once a week for 36 hours. But what is resulting is that if we allow people to have water across the whole city on Saturday and Sunday, it means our reservoir will be depleted once more. So we're publishing another schedule where we're showing that we will still effect water shedding on Sunday and on Saturdays. Then a new schedule will come in, kicking in on Monday, that will provide for a 48-hour shedding per period, again over the week, while we monitor the situation. Efforts are there to actually procure the bent space, that's the control panels that are required for Mzingwane. Our procurement management unit is actually seized with that. They have got quotations from the suppliers, and the supplier has been identified. He has indicated that it will take about 8 weeks to get that panel on board properly working. But efforts are being made to actually mitigate through the 8-week period if we can get other options to get at least one of the pumps working. Should those pumps start working, the public will be informed. We know there will be challenges in terms of restoration, but for the system to properly work, we are asking consumers to conserve the water on the days that they are getting their water. We have the Bowsers, but the Bowsers, as this is an emergency, there are only about 5 of them on the ground operational, which means it will be difficult to actually meet the demand of the Bowsers. But if consumers cooperate, we will actually be able to bring our consumption down during the shaded days, so that at the end of the shaded day, we are able to supply the areas that we should be opening. Then over and above that, the consumers are urged to reduce consumption, because City actually introduced a new water rationing regime, which was meant to cut our consumption from the average of about 150 to about 125 megaliters per day. We are asking consumers to observe their limits, which limits will also circulate on social media for people to know where they should actually limit themselves, so that they don't find themselves with huge penalties because of the current situation. We are asking for cooperation from all our consumers and other stakeholders.